Hello, welcome to English Hub. Ready to learn English in an interesting way? Great! Let's get started with an amazing story.
Hey there, my friends, welcome. Today we have something amazing to talk about. A story full of mystery, secrets, and one of the greatest minds in history. Yes, I'm talking about Leonardo da Vinci. But wait, this is not just a story. This is your chance to practice your English in a fun and easy way. While you listen, you'll learn new words and improve your understanding. The more you listen, the better you get. So, stay with me until the end. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a painting and thought, is there a secret hidden in here? What if I told you that some of the most famous paintings in the world might have hidden messages? Da Vinci was not just a painter. He was an inventor, a scientist, and a genius who loved mysteries. And today, we're going to uncover some of his biggest secrets together. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell and give this video a big thumbs up if you love stories like this. Ready? Then, let's dive into the world of Leonardo da Vinci. Did you know Leonardo also loved studying nature? He believed art and science were connected. For example, he drew a famous picture called the Vitruvian Man. It shows a man with his arms and legs spread inside a circle in a square. This drawing was Leonardo's way of saying that the human body is perfectly connected to nature and math. He also studied water, wind, and rocks. He drew waves, storms, and even how water moves in rivers. But Leonardo wasn't just curious. He wanted to help people. He designed a city with clean streets and canals to avoid diseases. He even invented a machine to lift heavy things like rocks to make work easier. But not everyone liked his ideas. Some people thought he was wasting time with strange projects. Still, Leonardo never stopped exploring. He once wrote in his notebook, "Learning never tires the mind." Maybe that's why, even today, his work inspires artists, scientists, and dreamers around the world. What would Leonardo think if he saw our modern world? Do you think he'd still be full of new ideas? Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter. He was a dreamer, an inventor, and a man full of ideas. His mind never stopped working. He wanted to understand everything: the stars in the sky, the way birds fly, and even how the human body works. Imagine a man sitting in a small workshop surrounded by papers and drawings. His hands are covered in ink. His eyes are full of curiosity. This was Leonardo. He was always thinking, always creating. He painted some of the most famous pictures in history, like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. But did you know that some people believe his paintings have hidden messages? Strange symbols, secret codes, and clues from the past. What if Leonardo left us a puzzle to solve? And not just in his paintings. He wrote thousands of notes about machines, animals, and even flying. But there was something strange about his writing. He wrote everything backwards. To read it, you need a mirror. Why did he do that? Was he hiding something? Leonardo lived over 500 years ago, but his ideas were far ahead of his time. Some of his inventions look like modern airplanes and submarines. How could he think of such things in the 15th century? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a time with no cars, no airplanes, no phones. The streets are full of people in long robes, speaking in loud voices. The smell of fresh bread and flowers fills the air. This is Italy in the 15th century, the world where Leonardo da Vinci was born. Leonardo was born in a small village called Vinci in 1452. He was not rich. He did not go to a fancy school. But he had something very special: curiosity. As a child, he loved to watch nature. He watched birds fly, water move, and people walk. He asked questions about everything. When Leonardo was a teenager, he moved to Florence, a big and beautiful city. Florence was full of artists, writers, and scientists. It was a place where great minds met and shared ideas. Young Leonardo started working with a famous artist named Verrocchio. There, he learned to paint, sculpt, and design. But he did more than just follow instructions. He had his own ideas. One day, Verrocchio asked Leonardo to help with a painting. Leonardo painted an angel. When Verrocchio saw it, he was shocked. The angel looked so real, so beautiful, that he said Leonardo was better than him. From that moment, Leonardo became a master artist. But Leonardo did not want to only paint. His mind was full of inventions. He designed bridges, machines, and even flying devices. He wrote everything down in his notebooks. He wanted to understand how the world works. People in Florence admired Leonardo, but not everyone understood him. Some thought he was too different, too strange. He studied human bodies in secret, drawing bones and muscles. He observed birds and tried to build wings for humans to fly. His ideas were too advanced for his time. Then, one day, Leonardo received an invitation. A powerful man, the Duke of Milan, wanted him to work in his court. This was a big opportunity. Leonardo packed his things and traveled to Milan. This was the beginning of a new adventure. Leonardo da Vinci was a man full of ideas, but he had a problem. His ideas were too advanced for his time. Some people might not understand him. Others might even think he was dangerous. So, Leonardo found a way to hide his thoughts. He wrote in a very strange way, backwards. If you looked at his notebooks, the words did not make sense. The letters were flipped, as if they were in a mirror. To read them, you had to hold a mirror next to the page. But why did he do this? Some people believe that Leonardo wrote this way to protect his ideas. If someone stole his notes, they wouldn't understand them. Others think he did it just because he was left-handed. Writing from right to left helped him avoid smudging the ink. Whatever the reason, this made his notebooks even more mysterious. Leonardo wrote about everything: art, science, music, human bodies, flying machines, and even war. He had thousands of pages filled with drawings and notes. Some of his ideas were never built, but others became real hundreds of years later. For example, he drew a parachute long before people used them. He designed a machine that looked like a helicopter, even though no one in his time could build it. He studied the way birds fly and thought that one day, humans could fly too. His notebooks were full of details. He even studied the human body by dissecting dead bodies in secret. At that time, this was not allowed, but Leonardo wanted to understand how life worked. His drawings of muscles, bones, and organs were so accurate that they helped scientists many years later. But Leonardo did not just write about science. He also wrote about his thoughts and feelings. In one note, he reminded himself to be curious every day. In another, he wrote about how time moves fast and how we should never waste it. Unfortunately, many of Leonardo's notebooks were lost over time. Some were destroyed, and others disappeared. But the ones we still have are full of secrets waiting to be discovered. Even today, experts study his notes and find new ideas. What if some of his inventions could still change the world? As Leonardo grew older, he never stopped learning. He moved to France to work for a king named Francis I. The king loved Leonardo's ideas and gave him a home near his castle. Even in his 60s, Leonardo kept studying nature, drawing plants, and designing new inventions. He also wrote about rivers and how water moves, but he still had one big dream: to make humans fly. He studied birds until the end of his life, trying to solve the mystery of flight. Sadly, Leonardo died in 1519, but his ideas lived on. People found his notebooks years later and realized how amazing his mind was. Some of his inventions, like the parachute and the robot knight, were finally built hundreds of years later. Today, we call him a genius because he thought of things no one else could imagine in his time. But Leonardo didn't call himself a genius. He was just a man who loved asking questions. What can we learn from him? Maybe that curiosity is the key to great ideas. Leonardo's curiosity didn't stop at the outside world. He also wanted to understand what was inside things. He secretly studied dead bodies to learn about muscles, bones, and organs. At that time, this was against the rules, but Leonardo believed it was important to see how the human body works. His drawings of the heart, brain, and even a baby inside a mother's stomach were so detailed that doctors still study them today. But why take such risks? For Leonardo, knowledge was more important than fear. He even wrote, "The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding." And while he explored science, he never forgot his art. He used his knowledge of the human body to make his paintings more realistic. For example, when he painted a person's hands or face, he knew exactly how the muscles moved under the skin. This made his art look alive. But not all his ideas were serious. He once designed a robot lion that could walk and even open its chest to show flowers. Imagine that. A robot lion in the 1500s. How did he think of something so creative? Maybe because he believed that art and science could work together to create magic. Leonardo's mind was always working, always searching. And soon, his art would become more mysterious than ever. What secrets did he hide in his paintings? Leonardo da Vinci's paintings are not just beautiful, they are also full of mysteries. Let's take the Mona Lisa, for example. Her smile is famous all over the world, but no one knows why she is smiling. Some people think Leonardo used special techniques to create her mysterious look. Others believe there are hidden symbols or messages in the painting. And then there's the Last Supper. In this painting, Jesus is having dinner with his disciples. But some people say Leonardo hid secret codes in the painting about religion and history. Every time we look at his art, we find something new to think about. What other secrets did Leonardo hide in his paintings? And why did he do it? Was he trying to tell us something, or was he just having fun with his art? But Leonardo was not just a painter. He was also a scientist and an inventor. He loved to study the world around him. He watched birds fly and wondered how humans could fly too. He studied the human body to understand how it works. He even designed machines that no one in his time could build. For example, he drew plans for a flying machine that looked like a helicopter. He also designed a tank and a diving suit. These ideas were so advanced that people only built them hundreds of years later. Leonardo's notebooks are full of drawings and notes about his ideas. He wrote about everything: art, science, nature, and even music. But here's something interesting. He wrote his notes backwards. To read them, you need a mirror. Why did he do that? Some people think he wanted to keep his ideas secret. Others think it was just easier for him because he was left-handed. Whatever the reason, his notebooks are like treasure chests full of amazing ideas. Leonardo da Vinci teaches us something important. Never stop being curious. He was not just a painter or a scientist. He was a man who asked questions about everything. He looked at birds and dreamed of flying. He studied the human body to make his art more real. He even drew machines that no one in his time understood. But he never gave up on his ideas, even when people thought they were strange. Today we use helicopters, submarines, and robots, things Leonardo imagined 500 years ago. His art, like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, still makes us wonder. What secrets are hiding here? His notebooks remind us that creativity has no limits. Maybe that's his biggest lesson. You don't have to choose between art and science. You can love both, just like he did. So, next time you see something amazing, ask questions. Draw, explore, and dream big. Who knows? Maybe you'll have ideas that change the world, just like Leonardo. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If you love this story, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more adventures. Keep learning and stay curious.